Hey everybody, it's Dr. Scott coming from BE and MH LLC, and this week I want to talk about setting healthy personal boundaries. So first off, what is a personal boundary? Personal boundaries are the limits and rules we set for ourselves within relationships. A person with healthy boundaries can say no to others when they want to, but they are also comfortable opening themselves up to intimacy and close relationships. So the first step to setting healthy boundaries is knowing your own personal limits. Before becoming involved in the situation, know what's acceptable to you and what isn't. It's best to be as specific as possible, or you might get pulled into a trap or giving just a little bit more or over and over until you're giving far too much. Tip number 2 is know your values. Everybody's personal limits are different. They are often determined by their personal values. For example, if you value family above all things else, you might set boundaries that are a little stricter when it comes to like your family time. So if a boss asks you to stay over for work and you know you have things planned with the family, you're more likely like, look, my family kind of comes above this, so no, I can't do it. Next step, listen to your emotions. A lot of time that gut feeling is all the sign that we need to engage or disengage in a situation. If you start feeling uncomfortable with the request or a situation, don't shy away from that feeling. A lot of times the gut is right. Just go with it. Hey, this isn't it for me. Maybe next time. Next, let's talk about having some self-respect. If you always giving to others, ask if you're showing as much respect to yourself as you show to others. So in other words, if you give, make sure you're giving to yourself as well. Boundaries that are too open might be due to misguided attempts to be liked by elevating the other people's needs over our own. And also, we want to talk about have respect for others. We can turn down things without being disrespectful. That's a big key. So if someone asks you for something you don't feel comfortable doing it or you just really don't want to do it, we can always decline in a respectful manner. Never know when something or when somebody may be able to help you later on down the road. You don't want to burn bridges. Our next step, you gotta be assertive when it comes to setting boundaries. If somebody comes to ask you to do something or wants you to get involved with a certain situation, how you say no is very important, because if you leave any type of other interpretation with your no, that can become almost like, maybe it's not a no, maybe it's a maybe. People are less likely to respect those boundaries. So be firm in when you say no. Some good examples of that is like, make sure you're making eye contact. Make sure that you enunciate and use the proper tone, and make sure that you just give off that body language that says, hey, I really mean no. There's no window for me to change my mind on this matter. Next, and the final tip when it comes to setting boundaries, consider the long view. Some days you will give more than you can take, and other days you will take more than you can give. Be willing to take a longer view of the relationship when appropriate. But if you're always the one who's giving or taking, that might be a problem. And to simplify that, be open when you're setting these boundaries. Sometimes your boundaries may need to waver a little bit, depending on how you value that relationship. Not to say that you need to compromise them, but also when you're making decisions and setting these boundaries on certain things, make sure you're considering the long-term thing, what happens. And that's it for setting healthy boundaries. I'll be back next week with some more tips on another topic. Have a good one. Dr. Scott.